Alright, fellas, it's one of the first rainfalls of the entire year. So, going inside to play with a new toy. This is the new Inductrix FPV Ready to Fly kit from Horizon Hobby. Thanks to Spectrum FPV for sending this to me. Can't wait to fly it, so let's open it up, bind it to my DX9 and get going. Alright, so here's a comparison between the new Inductrix and the modified Inductrix Tiny Whoop. You can see they're about the same size, but the new one, I think the most noticeable difference is the FPV antenna looks like it's a small little whip coming out the side. It's not a cloverleaf sticking out the top. So hopefully video performance will be just as good, but I would expect that this will be linearly polarized instead of circular polarized. So you might get slightly different video performance. I may take a crack and open up this canopy to see what's actually inside. Maybe there's a hidden CP antenna underneath the canopy. But this will be more durable and crash resistant than the FPV module that we put on top of the original Inductrix to turn it into a Tiny Whoop. These always bend and deform and crashes. I mean, it's repairable. I haven't had it break because I put a glob of hot glue right where all of those antenna elements come together. So I really haven't had any issues with this, but this is a much nicer form factor. Okay, here's the weight of the new Tiny Whoop. 22 grams. And my old one, 19 grams. So 2-gram difference, and that's expected to have that plastic canopy that protects all the electronics. To change the channel on your video transmitter, you simply press the button here on the top of the canopy, which is awesome. That's easier to press by finger and less exposed than the corner button on this VTX module right there. So really good location for that button. Thoughtful design. I think that's pretty nice. The board on the bottom looks like it is a very similar board that the original Inductrix has. In fact, I think it has the same serial number. Alright, so we're going to be flying throughout the house with my Dominator V2s and the Furious FPV module. Got a Foxeer omnidirectional antenna and a Spironet miniature patch. I'm keeping it up pretty high because we got my dogs who love to chase Tiny Whoops and terrorize me as I fly. And I think, you know, the first flight, I was pretty impressed with the reception on this FPV module that's built into the Inductrix. It was really clear, didn't have a lot of noise, and I was able to go around the entire house, so pretty good. Also, throttle management, plenty of power. It does seem to take a little bit of time for throttle to respond, so you can go up with throttle, down with throttle, but it's not like really snappy. There's a little bit of latency, you have to plan for that. So that feels different from flying a regular mini quad, which has more snappy throttle response, but totally manageable. Alright, here's some FPV.
Picking up the pieces out that left you in again. Love is all you want, but you're never gonna feel the same. It's hard to be yourself when everyone around is changing. Open up your eyes and you'll never lose yourself again. We go over and over and over again. Are you lost in the past, thinking what might have been? You're here and you're now, start it over and then take it over and over and over again. Turn it up! Turn it up! Old enough to know and young enough to live again. Stare into the mirror, but no one that you know is there. Shaking like it's cold and no one's there to take
these back to back. I really like the way the new Inductrix handles. It's really stable, has similar flight characteristics to the controller on the original Inductrix. So they fly really similarly. The difference is probably I have 5 or 10 degrees of camera tilt on my camera mat on my original Tiny Whoop, and the new one is pretty much straightforward. So I can fly slower and get longer flight times with this guy. So really, I think flight performance is going to be the same, but I can get longer flight times since this camera is straight. Really, I like this guy for the protection. I can also put it into a container, put the top on, and not have to worry about anything hitting the top of this. Dogs are really tired from chasing Tiny Whoop. With the original Tiny Whoop, because the antenna is sticking out of the top, if I put it into a Tupperware, I'd have to worry about the top of the antenna bouncing around and getting smashed. And I could have prevented that by having, a better carrying case instead of just Tupperware. But with this canopy and a whip antenna for video, you can just toss it in and not have to worry. So I really like this for travel and the canopy's protection. And really that's what Tiny Whoop is for, right? Like bringing something around where you can fly with it at a hotel, when you're at an event, and have this as a backup to fill gaps in time. So highly recommend this. This is awesome. I'll be flying it around. My dogs can't bite through the canopy unless they're really trying to, but most of the time they're not. They just want to chase it. So this is going to get a lot of use to exercise my dogs. Thanks for watching.